Hey guys, welcome back to Apothecary of the Rockies. Today we're going to be doing a hair mask. So I know I've been like a little MIA. Just been crazy with the holidays. So Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah went well. Shana Tova to anybody out there. But we have been busy, so we made, as you can see, my counter is full. This soap, trying not to break my scale as I lean on this bowl. Very, very pretty, and it's one of my new favorite scents. The reason we don't have a video for this is I was mixing the lye and I got a little bit impatient, and we were making such, as you can see, a huge quantity. We did one of the larger molds, and when I was adding the lye, if you add it too quickly when you're dealing with that much volume, it does heat up the water, so it like basically boils, because normally lye is right around like 180, but because there was such a quantity, it was getting up to like basically the simmering point, and it was reacting as it should. And I was going pretty slowly, and I figured that most of that had passed. Like I had mixed roughly 3/4 of it, and I had just a little bit, and I was like, oh, I'm tired of just kind of like adding this in grain by grain. So I went ahead and I was like, whoop, and then it went. And I always mix my lye in a sink anyway, just in case it does that or anything happens and it needs to disappear quickly. But it had gone so bad, it kind of just really foamed out, and it was like bubbles, like bubble bath. And it had gotten onto me. So in the middle of filming, I had to like run, take off all my clothes, hit the shower. Thankfully, I didn't get any lye burns because it had just barely touched my shirt. It discolored my shirt a little bit, which I was not, it's actually this shirt, which I was not happy about. And you can see there's like this little stain. Thankfully it blends in quite nicely. But yeah, so that was, and then by the time I finished my shower, I was just, this was not about that life, so I just finished making the soap and went to bed. And so I got what I wanted out of this. It's really nice. The bars are really, really big. So yeah, I got 30, they're like much wider bars. They're not very like hand friendly, but they're nice, and the scent is just amazing. It is from Crafter's Choice. So it's not this particular scent, this is another one I'm doing. After I finish this video, we're gonna do 2 videos tonight. And we might just do one really long video. But we're doing a pumpkin bar for like, it won't really be ready for in time for October, but it will be ready for all of November. So it'll be ready probably about that first, second week of November. So we have that. We have some glitter to go on that one. And this beautiful orange mica. And then I'm going to dust the top with some nutmeg. And we're gonna try piping, it's gonna be like a pumpkin pie themed bar. Maybe. But that's a digression. Today we're gonna do a hair mask. As you can see, I got a new haircut, so it's not really gonna be about me because there's not much hair left. But my scalp and my skin, since I moved to Colorado from Louisiana, well, from Atlanta, the deep south, it's been crazy dry. So yeah, so we're gonna do that. So we have essential oil blend, which we've already pre-blended for this recipe. We're just gonna do a small little batch. We have, if you can see on the stove, we already have the containers cleaned and lined up. The little 4-ounce ones should be enough for like 3 treatments. I guess it just depends on how long your hair is and how much you use. A little should go a long way, and a hair mask is something you're gonna use before the shower. So dampen your hair in the sink, shower, wherever you want to do it. Apply the mask like you would a conditioner, and just kind of let it sit while you do everything else, or sit around and watch TV, or even leave it for like an overnight treatment. And then you just wash it out with shampoo, and then you can condition if you want. You really won't need to afterwards. So for this blend, we're doing a rosemary essential oil. that? It's a little bright. We're doing rosemary. We're gonna do cedarwood. I left the, I don't know why I left the lids off. It was a very conscious choice I made that I'm now regretting. Eucalyptus. Sorry. Tea tree, because I love tea tree on my scalp. I have such bad dandruff here. Spearmint, peppermint. And then I use just a little bit of fragrance oil because they're not the most pleasant smelling essential oils on their own. Even with it, I don't particularly like the smell of eucalyptus or tea tree. They are great for you, and I do use them, but I do loathe having to use them. So for this recipe, what we're going to be doing, we have some mango butter here. We have some shea butter here. I'm going to try and not knock everything off, so we're going to move things out of the way so that doesn't happen. We have some shea butter. We have some horsetail butter, which is really, really good. It's great for you, so whatever ails you, it's good for that. It's high in biosilica. We have some argan oil to it without knocking anything over. We have some meadow foam oil, which is really, really good for your hair. And then we have some black castor oil, which is also amazing. And then we're gonna stabilize all that with some cetyl alcohol, and then some vitamin E, just because oils can go rancid, and if it's something you don't use that often, I want you to be able to at least keep it for a year, maybe two, without it like going bad. So yeah, I was gonna Instagram live that at the same time, but I'm thinking that's gonna be a bad idea, and I want to stay focused. And then I have my recipe very professionally written out on this piece of parchment. Now I am going to double it because the recipe I worked out only makes about 2 jars when I was messing around with it. So we're gonna double this as we go. So if you see me looking right here, I'm gonna keep the piece of paper, and I might even take one of these little things so it doesn't fold over, because it is just parchment paper and it rolls like insane. There we go, so that I can see. And then just to catch you guys up on other things that I've done, we have a face cream that I have been dying to do. It also has the horsetail butter. This is really, really good. And that's pretty much like the main ingredient. And it does have a little bit of jojoba oil as well with the horsetail, and a little bit of shea. I am being texted. You can see it's super, super thick. A little does go a long way. And it smells absolutely, absolutely amazing. I used it last night because there was a good bit sort of left over. I didn't really calculate as precisely as I would have hoped. I would love to have scraped the bowl and that would have been just like it. But there was just a little bit left in there, so I kind of scraped it out. And I loved it. I put it on my arms too, like a regular lotion. And yeah, my skin's looking pretty amazing today, and I'm very happy with it. So, and I adore the smell. I adore the smell. I actually want to give a shout out to it if I can find it. It is called Coastal Cottage from Crafter's Choice, and I'm going to be re-upping on that because I have been I've been messing around with essential oils for a little bit, trying to just craft a scent because I have this spa line coming out and I don't really have a fragrance that I really like for it. I want something that's going to be really clean and light and sort of just kind of be there in the background and just let the product do the work, which is what I want. And I've been waiting for my horsetail butter to come in because that's going to feature in the soap, it's going to feature in the spa lotion, it's going to feature in the face mask, and then there's a shampoo and conditioner. It's not going to be the shampoo by much because it's a clarifying shampoo. It's really meant just to cleanse the hair, but it's going to be like a super, super, super duper conditioner with the horsetail butter in it as well, and the meadow foam oil as well, because those are both really good for hair. There'll be argan oil in it, and then when I do the water portion, I'm doing an herbal infusion of just sort of a proprietary blend. I'll just tell you a bunch of herbs. So I have to get started on that so I can get that done as well. So that being said, let's just start measuring things out and going for this. Let's turn this thing on, and then I'm going to be looking up. So I hope everybody had a really good New Year and an easy fast for those of you to whom that applies. I actually had a really good fast. I normally get terrible caffeine headaches during Yom Kippur. If you don't know, Yom Kippur, we fast for like 24, 25 hours, something ridiculous. And it's a traditional fast, so there's no food or fluids of any kind. No water, no juice, no milk, nothing. And I normally, at least the last few years, I get really super dehydrated and I get really bad dehydration headaches right around noon, then they kind of dissipate, and then I get terrible caffeine headaches. And I'm just like, I'm not gonna make it, I'm not gonna make it. But I did not do that this year, so that was nice. It was a really good fast. Yeah, so I got the caffeine headache actually after the fast was over. So we broke fast at Shul, and I went in and I grabbed, like, they have these little tiny bottle of waters, like, as you're going out of services, just so you can guzzle. And I was like, and I killed it in no time. And I started eating because they had like a little buffet there, so you could break fast. It's not meant to be like a whole meal. It's like salad and bagel and what else is there? I don't know. That's all I had. I had a salad and a bagel. And then I was driving home, and yeah, then that caffeine headache hit, and it hit hard. I had to stop at a gas station and grab a soda. So some goals for next year to wean myself off of caffeine. I usually do try and reduce my caffeine intake about half, about 2 weeks out, and then I do another quarter, so I'm at 75% reduction right before Yom Kippur hits. And then the day before, I just swap over to like tea and like less caffeinated beverages, like soda. And that typically helps a little bit, but I always get a caffeine headache. This year I did not though, so I was very happy about that. Okay, big digression. I might have to use, where did it go? There it is. Okay, so this is the shea butter. I'm hoping my scale doesn't die before. It's very cold in the house. It's getting cold here in Colorado. Last week at night it was down into the 30s, and during the day it's been very pleasant. It's been in like the 70s and 80s. So much so that you can see I wore long sleeves today. This is not going well. We may have to try something else. Okay, I used the spoon earlier. I'm just gonna set this on the cloth. This is what I ladle. I ladle my lips. That's why I cleaned it. It's meant to ladle, but we'll have to just clean it again before we do any ladling. And I like it because it has this little silicone covering. There we go. Come here. The one thing I hate about it is this stupid thing. I don't know why. Like, attach it or don't attach it. Oh no, I messed it up. Go back to 0. Thank you. Okay. Okay, come on. Come on. It's supposed to stick to everything. Okay, so that's about 3/4 of the way there. Kinda. Maybe. I can get some more. So it's very cold in the house right now compared to how it normally is. Normally I'm like sweating. Pop you in there too. Waste not, want not. And so I spent my day today picking up my lulav and etrog for the coat, which starts tomorrow night. I'm kind of wondering if I should be like a really nice guest and offer to bring something somebody else is hosting. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do that. So we'll see. I love when other people cook, especially for holidays. It's one less thing that I don't have to do. I get back in the bag here. Thank you. Okay. Wolfly. So yeah, it's gonna be a really good menu. A friend of mine that goes to the same synagogue texted me and was like, "Hey, you have some place to go for Sukkot, Sukkos, however you want to say it." I've heard it both ways. I am not a New York Jew, so nor am I like very, very Orthodox, or I guess Hasidics say it that way a lot. Sukkos. Okay, so this. Okay, sorry, I'm referring like crazy here. Okay. For those of you who don't know what this is, the horsetail butter. There's a plant. It looks like a giant fern. Called the horsetail plant. Ooh. On the side of the bowl, and it's like prehistoric. So they say. I'm not a botanist. I know nothing about it. I make no claims. But the word on the street is that it's prehistoric, and it's kind of just sort of a snake oil almost, kind of good for what ails you. Sort of a plant. And I was reading about it and I was like, oh wow, I would really love to put that in some of my products. And this is what happens with me. I go off in these little tangents and I'm just like, oh, new thing, shiny object. Okay, that's good. Rest you go back here. The only downside to this is it's a little costly. This little jar was like 20 bucks. And that's about the going rate. I looked on a bunch of different websites and that's about what you pay for it, so. I'm gonna get all these last little bits. It's so expensive, I hate to really wash it off with a cloth. So I don't contaminate the other ones. So we're just going to do this. It's not enough to make a big difference. Okay, now the mango butter. Okay, I'm just doubling things in my head as we go. So mental maths, as they say. And I have been reacquainting, we're gonna have to use a knife. Reacquainting myself with geez, I lost my thoughts. With the Great Pottery Throwdown, which is one of my favorite shows. The only problem with that is that I get into these little tangents where I'm like, yeah, I want to go and do this, or I want to go do that. And all of a sudden I think I'm going to be a potter. I have no skill. But I do want to take a pottery class. Oh, that would have been nice. That was so close. Like it landed and it went right where it was supposed to. And then I realized I had to double it, so. There you go. Okay, we're about 10 shy. Okay, here we go. And so the point of this hair mask, now that I'm done with my digression of living out my fantasy of being a potter, is it's gonna be super hydrating and it's gonna help sort of help to heal breakages, split ends, anything that's happening with your hair. It's gonna be good for that. And then I did the essential oil blend for those of you who have like dandruff, dry scalp, stuff like that. Stuff I suffer from. So at least since I moved here, I didn't really have a lot of that prior to. So I would get like season, like in the winter, even in New Orleans, I would get like dandruff. I looked like I was smuggling a snowman or something. There we go. Let's say white chocolate chips. Okay. So now we're just going to pop this into the microwave until it melts. And then will come the fun parts. Just want to do it so I don't knock anything over. Oh, okay, that's what that says. I thought that ingredient said Caesar. I'm like, we're putting salad dressing in this. It says castor. I can literally not read my own handwriting. But yeah, so we're gonna be doing this pumpkin one next, and then we even have a blueberry coming out. And I bought these, as you can see, I haven't even opened them. I bought these cute little blueberry, I don't know what they are, accents from, this is she who puts her company here, soapandbeds.com. And it came super fast. She did a super good job. They look really realistic, which I love. So yeah, I am very excited about this. And so the plan is to do similar bars to this, have like a blue and white swirl. I haven't had the best luck, and I'm sort of running out of titanium dioxide, and I really just want to do these soaps. So it might be like sort of a cream base, like this one, with blue swirls in it. And this one actually you can't really see because this gold mica that I bought is terrible, but there's some gold right there. It just looks, beige, and there's like a little bit of sparkle to it, so I won't be buying that mica. And my dog is out and currently under my feet as well. Little Miss Pepita. She's my little Boston Terrier. She did not want to go away, and I was like, well, we're not working with lye right now, so we should be okay. Worst comes to worst. She licks up a little castor oil and has to go to the restroom. But I'm pretty good at it. I don't spill, so I'm not too worried. So we're just gonna check this because we don't want to scorch the oil. We do just want to make sure kind of everything melts. So just gonna mix it around. And I'm gonna scrape down the side where I had that excess on the spoon. And we're just gonna keep doing that so everything melts. And then once that's melted, we're gonna add in the oils, and that's gonna pull it down a good bit. And then we're going to, at that point, just wait, we'll kind of chat, and then we'll add in the essential oil and the vitamin E oil as well. Which, when I'm thinking about it, let me go ahead and measure out that vitamin E oil. I think we're gonna end up using about all of this, and it's not gonna hurt. I mean, vitamin E is good for your hair, so let's see where we're at. Okay, we are getting we'll just go in 30-second bursts until it melts. I wish I had a fast forward button, but I do not. So I will just show you some more of my new gizmos that I have ordered. I have this lovely pH meter, so when I do my soap, shampoo, that I can make sure it's pH. And then this is the blue we're going to be using for the blueberry. It is called Dark Ocean Blue. So I'm very excited about that. I was hoping for something that was called blueberry, but I did not get that lucky. And then I went on a kick and I just started ordering mica. So I have the seam foam. I think, yeah, I did. I used the sea foam in this one. So I was just like, ooh, it looks really good. And then I have this one called Dark Ocean Green, which is just really gorgeous. It doesn't really show up too well on camera, but it is. It's pretty much. Let's see where we're at. Okay, we are getting the acetyl alcohol just about melted down. It's probably better in like a bain-marie, but it's such a low volume, and I don't even think we're gonna fill up all of these. But that being said, it's worth a shot. So we'll see how many it's going to make. It says, my recipe says at the top, it's supposed to be about 200 grams. We're doubling that to 400. And you can just tell that based on the calculations how many of each product are there. And so it's supposed to give me 4. I did 6, 8. 8, just to be on the same side. So, okay, we're down to just a tiny bit of a few stragglers. I think this should be the last burst. But yeah, and then I had to, once I started doing everything, then I had to take and like, how many grams are an ounce? So it should be 14 ounces, well, almost 15 ounces, because it's not a direct, it's like a 1 point, I mean, you add all that together. And each one of these is 4, but it's 4 all the way to the top. And so I don't really want to do that with the hair thing. I did that with the face cream just because there's so much and I hate to waste. Okay, that's melted. You're good. Okay, so that's that. You go in the cool down phase, you come back. We're gonna zero you out. So yeah. I just gotta get better at these calculations because I have these little pre-did containers. This stuff is pretty thick, so just go slow working with castor oil because I have gone over so many times. It's not really gonna hurt. Castor oil is good for what ails you. There we go, that should come up to 20 once it's done. Yeah. Let's pop that back in there. Okay. That was gross. It's sticky. Clear. And this is the meadow foam. I've never really heard. I've been working with it for a little bit, and I was reading up about it, like what it's good for. I was just really worried about like sort of the properties. So what type of oil are we dealing with? What is that going to give me in my soap? I was just looking at different oils to use and see how they react, and I stopped using the soap because it doesn't really add anything. And then I was just like, well, I have all this oil left over. Let me see what we can do with it. Just going with the flow, people. And then so when I was looking it up, apparently it's supposed to be like really, really good for sort of hair growth is sort of the thing you hear a lot. Ooh, that is. And then the great thing about it is it's not like a greasy oil, which I like. Same thing with argan. Okay. Let me do mental math here real quick. Okay, we're good. There's the reason I'm not a mathematician. And so that's the thing, is I just don't want your scalp to feel greasy. I don't want your hair to feel greasy. But I do. Woo, right on the money. That was nice. I do want it to have benefits. So I'm just gonna kind of stir that in and make sure everybody's friends. And the good thing about adding the cold oils, or at least as cold as they are in this house, is that it helps you get to that cool down phase quicker. I mean, it's warm, but it's not like if I had done like the double boiler thing, like we just barely got it over everything melting. So it kind of makes the process move quicker, which is some things I've been looking at into soaping. So I now microwave all my solids and I pour the oils into them so that we can get to like that 120 to 135 sort of mark we're looking for. So I'll make my lye like pretty far in advance, especially if I'm doing a big batch like this, because it's going to takes well over an hour for it to really cool down to that temperature. And then at that point, once it's right around like, let's say 150, then I'll start microwaving all the oils and everything. And by the time I'm done, they're melted, and I add everything to them, I'm good. So we are ready to go. So it's just nice, and it kind of cuts it down, because to make like even those little small like little tin soap molds, I was doing. I would go for probably like 4 or 5 hours, just in that small little bit. just like, gosh, there's gotta be an easier way. So I started watching some other soap tutorials, and everybody else was like using microwaves or just doing this. I was like, why am I not using a microwave? As long as I'm not microwaving the lye, there's nothing that's going to kill people, or you poison people, make people sick, anything like that. I'm microwaving the oils. You just gotta be careful because you can scorch them. So like, I would not recommend going like 4 minutes right at the jump. It's very tempting. I usually do like a minute, minute and a half first burst, kind of see where we're at, and I just do 30-second burst after that. The reason I do 30-second bursts is just because there's a 30-second button on the microwave. Okay, I think everybody's friendly there. So we're gonna dump in the vitamin E. It is very thick and goopy. I went for this organic one, and I don't know if you've ever seen vitamin E oil at like your farmer, I don't know, I said farmer's market, at your pharmacy, but it's like that clear, looks like basically just like canola oil or something. This is like deep red and very, very thick and viscous. And I searched for the highest amount of like what I use. I don't know what that stands for. So the most vitamin E that I could possibly get was there. So basically vitamin E is great for your hair, but the real reason we're putting it in here is so that the oil won't go rancid. Vitamin E helps with sort of slowing it down. Eventually your oil will go rancid. It's just even vitamin E oil. It's just going to take a lot longer for that to happen. Put that in there. Okay, so that is good and mixed. Okay, so now I'm gonna go grab this little pipette that I purchased over here. We're gonna use that and I cleaned up yesterday and everything. We have these nice little glass ones. I sterilize these, but I get them when I order my essential oils in bulk. I'm just gonna go till I can kind of smell it. I made way too much of this. I don't know why in my head this bowl was gonna be a lot more full. I even had the exact amount that I'm supposed to use right there. And I was just like, But I guess I thought I knew better. And so I did, I think I told you guys, I did cut this with a fragrance oil. I used, I think it's called agave nectar from Crafter's Choice as well. Just because, like I said, it's very medicinal. Not the most pleasant smell, but these oils do great things for your scalp and your hair and everything else. So I wanted to put them in there. We're just trying to get to the mark. The scale is still on. So we just are halfway there, unfortunately. So bear with me. I don't know if you ever smell black castor oil. You're definitely gonna, if you use it, you're definitely gonna need a fragrance oil. So the fragrance oil is optional. If you did like a fragrance oil, I use essential oils because I wanted added benefits in addition to like the moisturizing and protein retention, everything down to the shaft of the hair. I thought I jumped. My thing hit it. Okay. So while we are waiting for this to come, because it's not filling all the way up. I don't want you guys thinking I'm doing this whole thing. It's really just filling up the tip because I washed it and I disassembled it and I don't think I put it back together well. So it's not really pulling that much. So we're just getting like, I don't know if you guys can see, just the tip is all we're getting here. So it's taking a good bit. So while we're doing this, I will go ahead and I guess use this time to talk about Sukkot and what that is, because I don't really have anything else coming up soap-wise. I might do a charcoal soap for your face. I do want to do a face soap. but that's a little ways off. I really want to get the shampoo and I want to get the conditioner done and just kind of get that stuff in the works. But Sukkot, if any of you live anywhere near a Jewish neighborhood, you probably see like these little huts. They have like little straw roofs and whatever for the sides. Sometimes they're made out of wood. Like if you live in a subdivision, you'll see them made out of like wood. They're quick assembly, and they have these little straw roofs. I don't know what the plural is for roof. Roofs? What does it sound like? Anyways, right there. And then people will eat in them, and you'll see people having like little parties. People will go from sukkah to sukkah. It is called a sukkah. That actual thing in the holiday is called Sukkot. And basically, it's just a reminder of that lovely period where we were traveling through the desert. And so we eat there to remind us about that. And it's pretty customary to kind of just go from Sukkot to Sukkot, and you're supposed to eat in it, you're supposed to sleep in it. My apartment complex is not that understanding, so I don't really push it. I mean, I probably could and say, hey, no, look, it's a religious thing, I'm gonna build this. But also, I don't want my neighbors like tearing it down. They're not very cheap. And they might just like, I get there one day and there's like some random person inside my sukkah. Or a homeless person, because we're not that far off from where they congregate here. Ooh, smells nice. Okay. There we go. Scrape that off, release not, want not. And so, yeah, we eat, sleep, and kind of travel. So I will be doing that Tuesday evening. I won't be doing the first day, which is tomorrow. I'll be doing that Tuesday evening, Wednesday evening, and then Saturday and Sunday, my rabbi will be back on vacation, so we're gonna have like a party. That's my dog. I literally forgot what he just told me a few hours ago. But they're doing something. I think it's like a movie night. I guess I'll figure it out when I get there. So yeah, and then I guess just so you guys can see, so they have, part of it is that you get a lulav. So this is just part of it, the part I don't have to refrigerate. So you have this little holder. This goes in the middle with the non-leafy part, this part right here, facing you. And then there's two other things in my fridge that have to remain cool, otherwise they will not be kosher. Quite literally, they'll just die on me. Don't judge my refrigerator. So we have a myrtle and a willow, and then they just go on either side. Get my trees. I made that a couple days ago, and then there's not eaten. And then you hold that with an etrog. So this is an etrog. It looks like a lemon, a very big lemon. So I'll open this. I'm just gonna be careful because you can make it unkosher if you damage it, so I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna try and pull it out as delicately as I can manage, because you want both ends to be attached. That's a very big deal. So you have the little pithum, I believe is what it's called, the little tip, and then you have the little part where it grows. And so it's just a really big lemon. It smells amazing. It smells like a rose. We're gonna very carefully back out. Because these are very expensive. They go for hundreds of dollars per one of these. I only paid $100 for the whole set. So it's a good deal. And so you hold that along with the lulav, and then you say a blessing. And then that's basically the thing that you do in Sukkot. Matter of fact, there's a little picture on the box that I should probably show you so you kind of see what it looks like all together. So you can see, ooh, I'm gonna knock things over again so you can see there's the palm, and then there's the myrtle, and I think in the camera, yeah, that's the myrtle, and then that's the willow on top. It doesn't really matter. And then there's the etrog. Like I said, you just shake it, say a blessing. Sukkot done. It's one of the easier holidays. No fasting. It's great. So that's coming up Monday night, and then next week is Simchat Torah. What do we have here? I just got a new Jewish Simchat Torah next week. And then it's kind of it until Hanukkah, which is nice. Get all of November off. Something tells me Hanukkah is like in November this year. So, as far as this goes, back on track. We're just going to refrigerate this till it cools and congeals, and then we're going to whip it, okay? So we will be right back. Hey guys, okay, so we are back. We have this in the fridge for like an hour-ish, and it's nice and thick. So what we're going to do now, we're going to mix it. So the point of this is we just want to incorporate a little bit of hair. It's going to make it a lighter mixture when it goes into your hair. A little will still go a long way, but that's the point. So we're going to go ahead and do that now with our little mixer. And you'll know you're getting there because it'll lighten in color. So it'll come out, it'll look kind of off green. It really just depends on what oils and essential oils you use. But it'll go from that to like an off-white color. And that's kind of how you'll know that you've kind of gotten to the place where you need to get. And it won't take too long. If you have the whisk attachment for one of those, that'll work too. And if you want to speed this up, one of the things you can do is after you've melted the cetyl alcohol and everything in, we can toss it in the fridge just for a few minutes, like 10-15, just to lower it down, not so that it solidifies, but just so that it comes down to like room temperature, maybe a little under room temperature, and have the oil mixture pre-measured and also already cooling in there whilst you're blending and measuring out your butters. So that's a nice little tip. So if you do the oil portion first, you can save yourself a little bit of time, because it'll already be cool, and the oil's not going to go solid as well as oil. And I think that's going to be good. Okay. So you can see there, it's a little mix, and it should look like frosting. So you can see, I have to touch it with my shirt because I just felt it. But it looks like frosting, and it's pretty white. And then after this, it's just ladling on into the containers. So we'll see how many of these that we actually get. I'll bring 4 over, because that's what the recipe was for. But I'm gonna bring 6 over. Okay, and so then it's just regular labeling. So I'm gonna use this because these are kind of small containers. They're 4 ounces. So I'm just gonna scrape down the sides. Okay, it's like a whipped mousse consistency. Maybe too much. Small amounts, otherwise I'm gonna end up cleaning off the sides of these jars. Get it down in there. You kind of want to pack it in and reduce all the air we just whipped into it, but you do want it to be full. But these are going to be for sale, so we don't want people feeling like they didn't really get their money's worth. And that is good. So that's what they're gonna look like. So we'll just do as many of these as we can. Pop it in there. Tap it down a little bit. Keep going until it is filled to the appropriate amount. We basically want the jar to be is very thick, so and if you do it like halfway and then tap, it'll help it get down into the sides so that you don't have like big air pockets in this. And you just do like a little bit of a half spoon. Kind of push it around a little bit. And then tap again just to get that last little bit. That's 3. Is not all the way full, so I will just use this one, the seal. Just can't really sell that, but we got 4.5 with that recipe. And the bowl is nice and clean. That. Yeah. But that is that. So I'll use mine to show you guys. So that is the product. And you can see it's pretty thick. So it just kind of stays there, it holds its peak. And then to use it, like I said, you just, for me, I don't have to wash my hair first to get out the suavecito inside of it. But then after I did that, you could just use it for 15 minutes in the shower while you do other things, face, whatever. And then just rinse it out as normal, wash your hair. It's gonna be heavy, right? So it's a hair mask, it's not conditioner. Conditioner is just a very light moisturizer to help with dryness. This is something that's gonna be for just repair, right? So we're going to use this for, we have breakages, split ends, processed hair. So we've dyed our hair, bleached our hair, permed, straightened, relaxed, whatever you've done to your hair, just to help with that, to restore some of the protein that's lost, restore some of the shine and luster. And so that's what that's for. So once a month, once a week, just depends on your hair, about 10-15 minutes in the shower. You could even do an overnight mask. Just make sure you kind of wrap your head first or have a throwaway pillowcase because it will end up on the pillowcase. So yeah, it's basically just, it's body butter for your hair. It's the best way to describe it. So that's the way to go with that. Hopefully next week we'll be doing a conditioner and maybe a shampoo at the same time. That might be a little confusing. We might do the shampoo in half the video and then conditioner in the second half. But that's that. So we'll have these up for sale. I'll probably do another batch like this, have like 8, see how they go, and then maybe a few more and then give them away to some friends. But just gotta clean up the edges, so it is messy. I just use like a damp, clean cloth to take off all the little stuff on the sides. There's not any preservative. The reason for that is there's just no water in this, so you don't need preservative. I guess if you're making this for yourself and you really wanted a preservative, you could. It's not really going to do anything. Preservative is just to keep bacteria from growing. Bacteria can't really grow in this. Like I said, there's no water. But that blend of essential oil should leave it nice and tingly. And I'm probably going to take a shower right now and use this. One of the benefits of having your own little bath and body company is you get to demo products. So I'm looking forward to it, and it still smells a little medicinally, but that has kind of cooled down. Like I said, I use called Blue Agave. So it is from Nature's Garden. Thought I said it was Crafter Supplies. It's not. It's from Nature's Garden. It's really, really good. It's Blue Agave. I use it in my shave bars, which I enjoy. As you can see, they work quite nice. And yeah, so it's a nice clean scent. It's very strong, and I only used about we'll say capful, about a teaspoon, to mix the whole bunch. So, and then I just added that to the essential oil blend just to sort of tamp down that sort of medicinal smell. It does come through. It's kind of minty is what I smell, and that's probably from the peppermint oil. There's peppermint oil, rosemary. Let me look again. Peppermint, spearmint, rosemary, tea tree. I can do this, and eucalyptus, all in here. And so it should help to increase blood flow. That's what rosemary does. To the scalp and to the follicles, which will give you healthier follicles. I'm not making any claims, just telling you what general knowledge of these sort of essential oils do. Like if you're really into homeopathology, you do rosemary tea, that's what that helps to do. The peppermint and the tea tree will just sort of invigorate the scalp. It feels great. I use peppermint oil whenever I get a headache, and it works. Something about vasodilation, not really sure, but it does work for me. And then tea tree, and cedarwood is also, and that should help with any sort of flaking on your scalp. Not making claims, just telling you, in my experience, it's one of the benefits of using tea tree and cedarwood. So I just wanted to create a mask where I could do that without just like pouring oil onto my scalp and letting it sit, which is less than pleasant. Especially if you're a little too generous, or you get this front region and then it drips down close to your eyes. It's not pleasant. But this will be pleasant, so a little bit will go a long way. So I thank you guys for joining me, and hopefully we'll have some more videos on a regular basis now that life has calmed down. And nothing else, we're gonna get started on this pumpkin and this blueberry soap, because I'm definitely jazzed about getting that going. So thank you guys for joining me so much. Click the like button, click the subscribe button. I love you guys watching. Make some comments below. I think my brother is still deployed, and he called me and said he's watching these, so hello, Chris. Good shout out to you. Yeah, so I'll try and stop saying because my brother says I say it too much in my videos. But thank you guys. Have a great day.